Welcome back to another episode of With Love Mama, the podcast. I'm Tanika, but before we dive into today's episode, I just want to say a huge thank you for being here. This podcast was created to feel like a safe space where women can exhale, feel seen, feel informed, and feel a little less alone in whatever season they're moving through. So if the conversations that we've had have supported you in any way, one of the most beautiful ways that you can support the show is by subscribing, leaving a rating, or sharing an episode with another woman who needs to hear it too. It genuinely helps our podcast to grow and reach more women navigating preconception, pregnancy, birth, postpartum, and beyond. So let's get into today's episode. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of With Love Mama, the podcast. And today we're talking about something that I feel like just maybe isn't spoken about enough, and it is being overwhelmed, like as a first time mum, because there's so much advice and it's all contradictory, but there's also the point, like the piece where you like want to sort of like get back into life as it was before, in the sense of going for your like morning walk or going to the gym or doing all these things, and then when baby needs mum, it can feel overwhelming in the sense of like, oh my gosh, and you're still just journeying through that matrescence, still journeying through the shift in identity. And when we don't actually just surrender to this is how life looks now and try and find a new rhythm, it can really very much so be impactful, especially on your mental health. And there's nothing wrong with feeling that way, of feeling not sure how to navigate a completely new way of life. Like, put it quite simply, it's a new way of life. And it can very much just be like, yeah, there's all this contradictory advice, everything I just said. I don't need to repeat myself. But today we're just going to be talking about like finding your way back to your own like intuition and your way of navigating this season, and knowing that yes, motherhood does feel like sometimes it's funny because it can be two things. It can be, oh my gosh, I've so got this, how do I just know what to do? But then it can also feel like, holy shit, this feels like a exam at school that I forgot to study for. And it's okay that you can feel both of those ways as well. So just remembering, like, you've actually never done this before. Everything feels so much bigger than it probably is. But it's okay that it feels bigger than it actually probably is, because you love your baby so, so much. And every decision feels like, if I don't make the right choice or the right decision right now, things aren't going to go wrong. And you might be like super type A, and you might be someone who's like, oh my gosh, baby's like napped this long, but now they're napping longer, and that's going to stuff up this. And honestly, girl, I see you. I can be very much like that, in the sense of like nap times or feeds or like whatever it was. Like, I remember myself being like that in the newborn stage, and with a toddler I can be like that of, oh my gosh, he can't go down too late for his nap because it's going to stuff bedtime, all the things. It's okay to feel that way, and that it feels like way bigger than it actually is, because it's just how it is sometimes. And just remembering as well, like, we have so much access to so much more information than like our mothers did, than our grandmothers did, than any other generation before us ever has, which, yes, you can say that that's great, but it can also create more overwhelm, because more information doesn't actually mean that you feel more confident, right? Like, it can actually feel like, holy crap, what have I made the right decision? Or you find out more information, then you're like, oh my gosh, I've been doing this, and then that's wrong, and like whatever. So I want to bring you into the myth around there only being one right way, because we often do assume that there is just like one perfect answer. There's one perfect sleep routine, there's the perfect birth, there's the perfect feeding, like the way of feeding, there's the perfect parenting style. But the truth is that there's so many ways to raise a healthy, loved child. So the way I am doing it might not align with you, but the way you're doing it might not align with your best mate. It's like, we all actually are so wired so differently. We all navigate life so differently. We all have different routines. Why would we expect that our children have to all be on this like one routine to be completely trauma-free and healthy and safe and happy and all the things? Decisions are not as black and white as social media makes them, or as black and white as we make ourselves feel that they are due to social media. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just not that way. So it's really important to remember that social media is a huge like leading way that can actually cause overwhelm, because once your algorithm is there, and I know your algorithm is there, there's no going back. You're on the parent side of TikTok, you're on the parent side of Instagram, and There's reels, there's everything coming up around do this for the perfect sleep routine, do this so that your baby's feeding properly, do this for a trauma-free childhood for your child, all of those things. But just remembering the loudest voice on social media isn't always the wisest. And why did it become so normal to start outsourcing your intuition to someone you don't even know online, to someone who could quite literally make their Instagram bio say like that they're a professional in something, and maybe they're not, right? Maybe they're not. You don't actually know these people. And yes, there's so many great pages on Instagram and like on social media and stuff that do spread like awareness to really important things around parenthood and are super helpful, especially, if you're looking for support around like physiological birth or breastfeeding or sleep schedules, like all the things. There's great professionals out there who have done years and years of study or have like really great takes on these topics that can be really supportive. But just remembering that like you actually have the intuition within you, and the more you're looking out, the more overwhelming it is going to feel, because it's going to be conflicting with what actually feels right for you. I hope that makes sense, like the way I've just worded that. Also, we've all heard of like what's it called? My gosh, my baby brain. Oh my gosh. Analysis paralysis, where like we're analyzing, and then we just actually don't know what the right thing to do is. So we either just don't do anything or we shame ourselves for how we're doing it. But just remembering, like, when you're constantly analyzing and researching and trying to do the right thing, and then you're finding contradictory research, and then it's just like all these things, you're actually just missing out on the actual experience of motherhood, because you're just trying to optimize it the whole time. Like, what if we actually just put our phones down and stopped trying to do the right thing and actually just followed our baby's cues and just allowed it to be okay that your baby is crying, or that your baby's sleeping 15 minutes longer, or that whatever it might be. And it's like, it's so much easier said than done, especially with how easy it is to just pick up our phones and go on and just like scroll through all the things and all of the things, right? But like the constant looking into it and like making sure that you're doing it properly is actually just like comparing yourself to a different way of how you are already parenting, which can take away from actually how much you're already doing and how much you're already like doing an amazing job at what you're doing, even if it feels like you're not. You know what I mean? So I think the main message I also want to get across, and this is something I wish I actually heard as well, is your baby is not actually a problem to solve. So your baby is not like a project, an open project that you need to like finish by Friday or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, your baby is just a human. Not every cry means something is wrong, and not every challenge actually needs fixing immediately. Sometimes they just go through their little phases. They're learning as well. This is all a learning for everyone. And some seasons simply just need to be experienced. Like, it's actually as simple as that. Like, some seasons in motherhood just literally need to be experienced, lived through, moved through, and then you come out the other side and you go, look, I actually don't know what that was, but like, I'm good. I think as well, I just want to take this conversation in like from there, like a bit of a direction of, you are probably going to experience, there's oh my gosh, there's the algorithm, there's social media, there's the, oh my gosh, what was the other thing I said? Like, yeah, just researching, like Google, ChatGPT, all the things where you can like go and like outsource in that way. And then there's also the unsolicited advice from maybe like friends or family or whoever it might be who thinks they're trying to help. But I think something that is really, really important is you actually don't need all of these different inputs into your mothering journey. But it's really great as well at the same time to have a small like support circle, a small trusted circle that you can actually lean on. So this might look like you have like your midwife, you have your like a trusted friend who you actually know you align with. It could look like your mum or your sister, a doula, even like a mentor at some capacity. So like a doula can be that as well, which is why it's really great to have a doula through the postpartum period specifically. I find is really supportive for mums, just to have that like someone that they can call, someone that they can lean on, even if it's just about them, not the baby. So highly recommend working alongside someone like me, but just remembering that like more voices doesn't actually create more clarity. It just creates more overwhelm, more confusion. So it's really nice to have that tight little circle that you know you can trust, that you know you can lean on, that you know can give you advice if that's what you need, but also can just actually be that space for you to just like vent and be like, holy crap, why did I just have a week of like my baby sleeping like 4-hour stints or 6-hour stints, and now they're back to like 2-hourly feeds or whatever it might be. Like just those little things. Sometimes it's like you just need, it's like a breath of fresh air, just getting that off your chest, right? It's not like you even need advice around it, because you might just know like, okay, this is like normal. My baby, like I said before, isn't a project. My baby's a human. I don't mean to keep saying it. But you know, like it can just sometimes be that of just like, oh my gosh. Now, another part as well is when you are feeling like you're in that spiral of like, oh my gosh, my babies won't stop crying or whatever it might be, just put your phone down, please. Take some deep breaths and just return to the moment. Like the moment might be so stressful. It might be your baby crying. It might be you feeling like, I actually can't do this, but I promise you, on your phone scrolling or trying to figure out what's wrong through your device, not actually like just sitting and recognizing the cues of the moment, is going to feel so much more overwhelming on your nervous system than actually just being present with what's happening. Sometimes being present with what is happening too, is actually putting your phone down, putting your baby in a safe space, and actually just walking away for like 30 seconds and just like regrouping and then coming back. And that's okay. That doesn't actually mean that you're a bad mum. It actually means that you're regulating yourself to be more present and intentional in your experience of mothering. Okay, so we're just going to put that in there too, because it's not about perfection, just as your intuition isn't about perfection either. Like when we're learning to like tune back into our intuition and not outsource it all, it's not about being perfect and magically knowing everything. It's actually just learning to listen to yourself alongside the other information that's out there, and building that confidence in like making those decisions, because it's like, it's just so important. It's a really important skill that we're actually not really taught about, right? So I really hope this short little episode has supported you if you're a first time mum and you are just feeling like, especially if you're type A, like fully get you, fully see you, sister. Like I feel like I said earlier, it can be hard. You get in those traps. Like you just like, oh my gosh, like the whole day's ruined because they've fallen asleep early, or oh my gosh, the whole day's ruined because XYZ, or they're not taking enough milk. Like what's going on? Are they sick? Blah, blah. Like it's so easy to just get into the little anxious moments. It's okay. It's okay to be an anxious queen sometimes, but it's also about like coming back to like all of the things I've just listed here, and just remembering like motherhood isn't a performance, just as birth isn't. Motherhood is not a performance. You don't need to know everything. You don't need to be doing everything, and you don't need to be like finding all these new experts to follow, because your baby does not need a perfect mother. Your baby needs you. Just remember that. Your baby just needs you. It doesn't matter if what state you're in. It doesn't matter. Your baby just needs you. So I really, really hope this episode has supported you. And oh my gosh, my microphone's about to die. So actually perfect timing to wrap this one up. I'll be back in your ears next week. Love you so, so much. And definitely reach out over on Instagram at Tanika Lace, and let me know how this episode landed for you if you're a first time mum, because I would just love to have the chat with you if you're resonating to any of it, because like I said, me too. I honestly resonate to it as well.